Hi guys, Raquel and Kenny here from Riverside Health and Fitness. Last week we talked about us giving you news in the realm of health and fitness. And we invited many of you to contribute to that discussion. Thank you, Becca, for actually messaging us and asking us about stretches. So there is a variation of stretches out there. Within the scope of a personal trainer and a gym, there are two types. One is dynamic stretch and one is static stretch. Static stretch, according to Jacque Crockford, he is a physiologist in Beast Fitness, he has said that static stretch is actually done after a workout. So benefits of doing a static stretch after a workout is that it lowers body temperature. It also decreases muscular tension, and finally it increases muscle relaxation. So those are all good aspects, but unfortunately those are types of benefits that you don't want to have before a workout. Those are things that you want after workout. So before a workout, you want to do what's called dynamic stretch. Dynamic stretch is actually a stretch. So what's the difference between static and dynamic stretch? Static stretch, you're holding a pose, so static. You're holding a static stretch for about 30 seconds. That's an inhale, exhale, 5 breaths, and you're oxygenating the blood. With dynamic stretch, you're also oxygenating the blood, but you're achieving that stretch dynamically through muscular strength and movement. So what that does, according to the European Journal of Physiology Science, they actually said that it's important for you to do it after or before a workout because it increases body temperature. So what that does is, when you're increasing body temperature, you're allowing blood flow to move. You're oxygenating your muscles correctly. You're also increasing joint flexibility. And finally, you're optimizing your muscular flexibility. So those are all aspects that you need, especially if you're sports specific. If you're a runner, for instance, you don't want to do static stretch. You don't want to hold a stretch for a period of time because it actually, what it does is it weakens your fibers. It lengthens your fibers and it weakens your fibers because you're focusing more strength on now holding that stretch. And what you want to do is you want to activate your muscles. You want to get your body moving. You want to increase range of motion. So today what I'm going to have Kenny do is we're going to do two variations of stretches. First is a dynamic stretch, and secondly is a static stretch. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is a dynamic stretch. So a dynamic stretch, again, is achieved by movement and muscular strength. So I'm going to have Kenny bring up his hands. We're going to go ahead and bring our arms up. We're going to stretch up and making sure those arms go close to your ears. If not, due to muscles like Kenny, you can just take it as close as you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to go clockwise. So you're going to take, this is your center of gravity. Your abdominals, your core is your center of gravity. You're going to tighten the core, and we're going to have Kenny go clockwise to his right. Okay, bring it down. Making sure that your arms are relaxed, your neck is relaxed as you bring it down and fold over. Okay, you're going to slowly bring it back up using the abdominals. So if you notice, you're feeling your hamstrings, your calves, you're digging with your heels, but most importantly, you're not holding something statically. There's some movement. Your body temperature is raising up. Okay, and usually what we do is we do 5 of these and 5 reverse rotations. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to do simple fold over. So I'm going to have Kenny slowly hinge to the waist and bring his body down, making sure your feet are head width apart and keeping the knees soft. And I'm going to have him hold that for about 30 seconds. That's 5 inhale, exhales. You don't want to go past a minute. Studies have shown, I believe it was a Scandinavian journal, said that holding it more than a minute causes injury. So you want to make sure that you're holding it not past that. So inhale, exhale, and then slowly roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time. And that's done after an exercise. So a little more things about static stretch. In a Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science and Sports, they concluded that static stretch reduces strength, power, and explosive performance. So what it does is it pulls apart and weakens your fibers. And it also diminishes athletic performance. And lastly, the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research has said that static stretch before a squat may reduce lower body strength and stability. So right there, friends, you want to make sure that you're properly doing your stretches right and you understand the difference between the two.
All right, gang, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about this week is the coronavirus and how it affects the general population. The studies that I've done this week and the experts that I've listened to, I've learned a couple of things. One of the things that I've learned is that Stanford this past week and USC, both universities have done studies where they have found that they're thinking that 50 to 85% more people than they originally thought have actually contracted this virus because they're showing antibodies. And to get an antibody of a certain virus, you need to have had that virus already. So if you've had the antibodies, but you didn't show any signs, that's a really good sign. So if 50 to 85% more people are having antibodies than they originally thought, that means that 50 to 85% more people have actually had the virus and been asymptomatic. Asymptomatic meaning they haven't had any symptoms. That's really good news. So why are there so many people dying and showing signs of being severely sick? A lot of that is underlying conditions. People who are already sick with something else have a far, far harder time dealing with this coronavirus. They're the ones that are generally in the hospital or even dying from this. By statistics that I saw on WorldOMeter said that only 0.9% of the people with no underlying physical conditions, pre-existing conditions, were dying from this illness. Well, now we're finding out that a lot of people aren't even showing signs of the illness, no symptoms, even if they have it. So what does all this mean? What it means is if you keep your body in shape, you are far, far less likely to have problems from it. So how do you keep your body in shape? Let's say 3 simple things. Number 1, get some daily exercise. It doesn't have to be anything severe. That's why we exist, is to help people get in shape physically. Number 2, eat right. Keep the man-made processed carbohydrates out of your diet as much as you can. We know through studies that sugar, man-made processed sugar, will actually weaken your immune system. Try to get that stuff out of your diet as much as possible. And third, get enough sleep. Your body essentially does all of its repairs while you sleep at night. So the more sleep you get, the more your body is going to repair. I would recommend 7 or 8 hours minimum, maybe up to 9 hours. Get enough sleep and your body will be repaired. And if you do all 3 of these things just on a daily basis, your daily habits, you will just be far healthier. And when the storm does come in your life, whether it be an injury or an illness, you will be able to get through that a whole lot easier than if you weren't in shape already.
So thanks guys for joining us this week. I hope that you enjoyed a lot of our material and things that we post online. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. It's free. If you're wondering, a lot of times when you see subscription, a lot of times people think it costs something. It's actually free. And I totally get it. I totally get it. So subscribe to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook page. If you haven't done so, please like us on there. And we also have an Instagram. So that's pretty new. I know a lot of you, the younger generation tends to lean more on the Instagram. But we do have some mature people that are actually doing Instagram too. So if you're in that category, we do have an Instagram. If you didn't know, now you do know. You can always, I guess, they call it like on Facebook and
like
follow.
Us, please.
Follow. I guess it's called follow. Follow on Instagram.
It used to be if you liked or followed somebody, it was called stalking. So gang, if you have any questions during the week, please, there's a million ways to get a hold of us. You can text us, call us.
Zoom.
You can do Zoom. We've got Zoom meetings. You can leave us a message on Facebook. Can you leave messages on Instagram?
You can.
You can leave us a question on Instagram. Any way you want to get a hold of us, you can just drop by our gym if you want.
Just between the glass.
Can I ask a question? You can ask questions in a number of different ways. We would love to sit down and answer those questions. We do research all the questions and make sure that we're giving you good scientific answers. So please do that. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, we will talk at you next week.